Why Incline and why now? Why do you think it's now and within the next 4 months is the time?
Everybody's talking about the AI boom right now, but it's more than just Anthropic and Grok and those other companies that are battling for AI, or even just tech companies. People kind of remember like, oh, you work for a tech company, they go public, you make $1 million. Now there's even more money going into this. It's kind of predicted that there's probably going to be somewhere between 10 and 15,000 new millionaires in the next 6 to 8 months. And that's just from a few tech companies, public and IPO.
But why Incline Village specifically? Why do you think it's Incline right now is going to be lower value to buy into than in the future?
As more people move into the market, they're going to be willing to pay more for their properties.
Welcome back. Today I'm sitting down with Brad Buxton with Compass Real Estate. Brad is located in Incline, does business all over northern Nevada. He is in the past focused on investors, but works with all types of people. Today we're going to talk about why buying an Incline now in the short term makes sense. We're going to address Brad's obviously a real estate agent, and real estate agents make money from buying and selling. That's not why he's going to talk about this. We're going to get into the details of why. But the AI boom that's happening, companies going public, the amount of wealth that's about to be distributed into the Bay Area. Let's talk through that. Why Incline and why now? Why do you think it's now and within the next 4 months is the time?
The boom.
What boom are we talking about?
Everybody's talking about the AI boom right now, but it's more than just Anthropic and Grok and those other companies that are battling for AI, or even just tech companies. People kind of remember like, oh, you work for a tech company, they go public, you make $1 million. Now there's even more money going into this. It's kind of predicted that there's probably going to be somewhere between 10 and 15,000 new millionaires in the next 6 to 8 months. And that's just from a few tech companies, public and IPO. What do you do when you have that much money? You have a financial advisor. Do you really want to put all that in the stock market if you think there's an AI boom? So people are going to be looking for another place to put their money. That's one subset of people. The next one is boomers looking to retire. They're usually kind of locked up in their houses because they have so much income appreciation in their house that they don't want to pay capital gains, so they're not moving. My aunt and uncle, great example, they bought their house in Fremont for like $350,000. It's now worth like 1.5. So they have $1.2 million in equity. They would have to pay taxes on $700,000 on that. There is a bill kind of moving around, kind of floating around that they might raise that capital gains to $1 million, which gives them $1 million they can go retire.
Capital gains exclusion. Yeah.
Capital gains exclusion, correct. That they could now retire. And where does your money go farther? You're going to be living in states with no state income tax, or just the cost of living is cheaper. If you have grown up coming to Lake Tahoe from Northern California, it becomes an obvious choice.
But why Incline Village specifically? Why do you think it's Incline right now is going to be lower value to buy into than in the future?
As more people move into the market, they're going to be willing to pay more for their properties.
So you think there'll be just a raise in demand due to the AI tech boom?
Correct. Yeah. There are other places in Nevada you can buy around the lake, Zephyr Cove, Glenbrook, places like that. The housing stock's a little bit more limited. The community is not as well developed.
You're talking about an Incline or other places?
Other places, they're not as well developed on the Nevada shoreline. So if you want to be up the lake where the weather is a little bit better, you do get access to the lake, but you also have all your big box stores 30 minutes away. So you can, if you want to go to Target and get whatever, you can go down there, so there's a lot of options there. And so as the northern side of the lake is being rebuilt, so the Cal Neva is a big project supposed to be done spring 27 and 26.
Cal Neva is the old hotel where Sinatra used to hang out with the Rat Pack, all that, right on the California-Nevada border on North Lake Tahoe.
That's right. So right now there's not a lot of entertainment on the north side of the lake. So people will kind of go to the South Lake. I like more restaurants, things like that. So as it's starting to be redeveloped here, that's going to draw in more people that see that as a great alternative to, entertainment or anything else. So there's more than just people moving up here and just more than just the lake for that. So with all those people, there's just going to be more competition, and there's no more real building around Lake Tahoe. They're trying to build more workforce housing, affordable housing, but they're not really building new condos and things that are in the $500,000 to $700,000 price point.
So it's mostly redevelopment of old buildings. that we're seeing.
Or tearing down of old buildings.
Yeah.
It's a lot of tear down of buildings. So it will definitely put an impact on not only the communities of traffic, other resources, but it also continue to push people out as prices go up. What if there's a crash? What if the AI crash actually happens? Then what happens to your property value? I believe it will continue to grow because it's just such a limited inventory here. And people will be less effective. They buy in cash. They have now $1 million that they can get a loan on. And then you can buy a property. And somebody else is like, well, I'll pay another 30 grand for that. 30 grand, and you can pop it up. Maybe not as extreme as COVID, right? Where people are just flooding in. There's still a big call to back to the office. So there may be a little more transient population.
So what are the different plays? You've got the short-term rental tax strategy where it's not your primary residence, but you buy a short-term rental, you get the bonus depreciation on your tax return that can offset W-2 wages. And then you've also got the primary residence, no state income tax in Nevada. So we see those two plays a lot in Incline Village and just around Tahoe or Reno in general. Let's talk about those. For Incline specifically, talk through those two routes. So
you're talking about why would people even consider buying out of California? Why would they even buy property out of California?
Yeah.
So there's a few reasons. Like if you look at a home as an investment perspective, which more people are looking at it that way, because the idea you move into one house, you raise your kids, your grandkids in the same house, and then you move to a retirement home that just doesn't happen as much as it used to. And so people are looking for a few reasons to move into Nevada in general. One, Nevada has no state income tax. So you have one avenue to save on taxes by moving to Nevada, to a great place like Incline Village right by Lake Tahoe, and you don't have any state income tax if you're a resident. So that's one reason. Second, there is a tax code that you can short-term rental a property for less than 7 days, and you can use that to offset your W-2 income.
7 days on average.
Correct, 7 days on average. I'm not a CPA. Talk to your CPA about it, but ask them about. A lot of people call it a short-term rental loophole, but it's not really a loophole. It's actually just in the tax code. So, but it sounds more fun to call it a loophole, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, oh, I'm getting a deal.
Sounds mysterious.
Yeah, it's mysterious. Like you think you're
doing
something.
Bonnie and Clyde style with a loophole.
Yeah. Do people know who they are? Bonnie and Clyde?
I don't know.
Yeah. The criminal tag team. Yeah. We'll have to ask someone from Anthropic about it. And so people that maybe, if you don't have the big, huge stock payout of $5-10 million or something, you can use that to offset W-2 income if you're just a high W-2 earner. And so then you get the tax advantages. And now, I have a little place in Tahoe that you can go. You can have family, visit your friends. A lot of people have memories. That's a big draw, is that people would vacation here. So kind of the third thing that's happening is, the retirees, they want their money to go farther. They want to move to a place that's like a little bit more, essentially Incline Village is kind of a retirement community. You want to play pickleball later?
Yeah, pickleball is a great retirement activity.
It's pretty good.
And for non-retirement people that are in there.
That's true. Keeps you healthy. I played with a 92-year-old guy the other day.
He's probably really good.
He was pretty good. His name was Jim.
Wow.
He dominated.
Yeah. Pickleball is full effect in Incline.
That's right. Yeah. So, that's probably why most people want to move here. But either way, those are kind of the three main reasons that are bringing people up here, because they want experience in mountain life, or they just want a house.
Primary residence. So you're saying primary residence, tax savings
benefits.
in Nevada, short-term rental tax savings, and pickleball.
Pickleball, yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's
Golf.
a joke, guys.
But the advantage to having a second home up here is pretty appealing. So snowbirds are very common. So you come up here for the summer where it's 75 to 85 degrees all summer and low humidity and things.
But these people are still considering it their primary residence, right?
Maybe, maybe not. But it's just they have a place that now they have a residence in Arizona in the winter, and they come up here in the summer, and they get the best weather of both places.
Right.
So that's like a subset of people that is also going to be trying. There's going to be probably, according to AI, it's around 1 million boomers that'll be retiring with enough 2 million to 14 million in assets that they could afford a condo up here and then afford something down in Arizona or wherever people live, wherever people snowbird too.
Let's circle back to Incline, the future outlook due to the AI boom that's currently happening. What do you see the future of Incline Village real estate valuations looking like over the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years?
And COVID basically it was probably a 50% increase. Some places close to 100, depending on what you bought and when you bought it. I don't see that big of appreciation because of the price points are pretty high. So there's going to be probably 10 to 20% appreciation over the next 5 years, even with a real estate crash, because people own these assets in cash. Property taxes don't reassess on the sale. So your cost of maintaining a home, even if you're not living in it, is, I wouldn't say it's fairly low, but it's less expensive than California. So instead of buying a house in Malibu, you're going to buy something up here and then maybe keep whatever your smaller primary residence in California. So that's why, all real estate agents say, oh, it's the right time to buy for you.
Yeah, you're a real estate agent. Why do you, all real estate agents say that now's the right time to buy. Why should people actually listen this time around?
This time around, I've gotten more calls for short-term rentals and people moving in the last month when these IPOs are starting to come out than I probably have in the last 3 years, since COVID really ended.
So you're seeing an uptick in demand.
An uptick in demand for short-term rentals, especially kind of the mid-price, the 600 to 800,000, which is where most condos fall. There's a great one on the market right now, 1 bedroom, under 500K. It's a great place to, have a little spot in Tahoe. But the HOAs are also coming down. There's a big kind of blow up of HOA costs up here. I think it happened in a lot of places, but because of insurance basically increased the HOA prices, they basically doubled in 1 year. And now there's special assessments. But that's over the last few years. So those are starting to come down. And then people's anchor price of how much an HOA really costs is, more normalized to what the HOAs are now, which is about $500 to $800 a month. 500,000 would be a lot. Nobody would buy that. Yeah. And so because of that, it's kind of normalized. They're like, okay, great. I can, afford that. And that's just what it costs. And HOAs aren't necessarily bad up here either. They take care of the exterior maintenance, landscaping, snow removal, things like that.
It's perfect for people that want to lock and leave and not worry about maintaining a home.
Yeah.
A condo is actually a really good option.
Yeah. And when you come up to visit, you don't have to do a bunch of chores to get your house into
right. You're not having to prep your cabin to warm up or to get the water going or the gas going.
Everything's come take care of.
You open it up and you're ready to go.
Yeah. And you can save on insurance depending on the size and things like that. But because of that, we see an uptick of people coming here, and that's going to increase competition. Competition is going to continue to push prices up and inventory back down. So you'll have fewer choices. And, I don't have a crystal ball. If I did, I would probably give you more information, but that's just what I'm seeing in the market.
That's what you're seeing, boots on the ground right now.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So why 10 to 20% in the next 3 to 5 years? How'd you come up with that number?
Based on kind of what happened with COVID and just looking at the way single family homes have gone up, the least expensive single family home that sold recently was 1.1 million, and it needed a pretty sizable remodel. And it was also high elevation. Lower elevation, things are still selling. Prices are still, double. They're up 100% basically from 2017. So in 10 years, you've had, COVID pushed a lot of people out of the Bay Area and up here. It's the number one concentration of wealth essentially in the world. And we're the closest city outside of California.
Incline is the perfect, it's the perfect storm in Incline. You're as close to California as you can get without actually being in California.
Yeah.
And it's one of the most beautiful places in the world with world-class amenities, right? You've got private beaches, pickleball, tennis, rec center, a great high school, great school system in general. You've got a couple private schools that are really great.
Yeah.
It's really the perfect storm.
There's enough restaurants. You don't really have to leave town. There's some good restaurants here. It's not like we have a bunch of tiny hamburger, greasy spoon spots. There's some pretty high-end restaurants. There's going to be a Nobu coming in. So it's going to become more of a luxury community. And then as more, luxury people move in, they're going to demand, more amenities and invest in the community as well. We already have people investing in planting flowers along the road and putting up lights and Christmas lights and things like that are, once people get here, they get invested in the community because it is such a great place.
Yeah, it is a fantastic place to live. Let's talk about Northern Nevada in general. Then, let's say you make a couple $100,000 a year, you want to offset your W-2 wages. Incline may not be the price point you want to be at. Maybe you want a single family home, lower price point. Let's talk about Reno, Sparks, those areas, Carson. What are you seeing boots on the ground there as far as the outlook for the next 3 to 5 years?
There's a lot of short-term rental investment there. There's some really good short-term rental stuff.
What are people short-term renting? Like, what are the events drawing short-term rentals in Reno?
Well, it's a lower price point. So Reno, you can get a short-term rental. It's an urban area.
Is it still skiing? Like winter skiing? Is it still?
It's a more consistent market. So a lot of people look to Tahoe first for short-term rentals. They kind of realize that the variability of the seasons lowers your overall yearly income. Average daily rates.
What I'm asking, I guess I should have phrased that better. What's drawing people that rent these out on Airbnb to, like, why are they staying in Reno?
There's a pretty consistent influx of people coming to Reno for events, even small events. I mean, they have high school gymnastics meets. UNR is a pretty big draw. Students in general, but you have UNR basketball, you have alumni,
Football.
speakers, football, the Wolf Pack. Then you also have people coming to build data centers. So you'll have also tech workers. There's a lot of tech companies in Northern Nevada, Reno. So you have and then you have logistics companies as well. So like ITS Logistics, there's Microsoft is here, Apple's here, Google's here, Redwood Materials, you have Tesla, Panasonic, Ridgeline is another company. They're building a whole campus. So that was, the founder of Monday is now, or Workday. Yeah. Is now Ridgeline, so they have a whole new company. So there's a lot of investment because the cost of living is a little bit less than California, but you have such great amenities for people to live here. So you're not in the middle of, nowhere in Nevada where it's just dusty. I mean, you're right at the base here in Nevada, you're 45 minutes from Tahoe. So there's a lot of people that do come to Reno for various reasons. And so there's a pretty strong short-term rental market there. They're also building a new 30,000 person stadium at the GSR. Or somewhere around there.
Yeah, the stadium would be cool.
So that's going to have to be filled year round. Originally, it's kind of pitched as the UNR basketball stadium. It's a new indoor thing, but they're going to keep it filled with, musical acts, comedic acts, shows and things like that. So that's going to bring a lot of people in. And if you're a group of people staying in a short-term rental house, is a way to go. Some people just don't like hotels.
Yeah,
so
that's how we are. We don't.
Not only that, a lot of people that move to Incline, they have a few seasons here. They don't like the snow. They slip and fall on the ice. And they're like, we're out of here. But they want to stay in Nevada. So we call them decliners. So there's a lot of beautiful homes down in Reno. You think of it as kind of dusty Nevada and like tumbleweeds and stuff. But really, there's some beautiful horse ranches there. It used to be an old cattle town. So there's some really nice areas there. Clear Creek is really nice outside Carson. There's some really nice golf courses. So people can live down there without being in the snow. Still get the tax benefits, 30 minutes from Lake Tahoe. And maybe they keep their house up here just so they can have access to the beaches. And in summertime, the weather here is pretty amazing. But the strategy, I think, if people are really looking to put their money somewhere that's going to have a really good appreciation market, the Incline Village area is one of the best definitely the best in Nevada. Vegas, there's probably places too, but they have a few more water issues and things like that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of urban sprawl,
Yeah, Vegas, you can just continue to build.
Yeah, for single. But just from a lifestyle perspective, people coming up to work remotely.
Yeah.
And you can just kind of feel the communities, like also the demographics starting to shift. I would say 10 years ago, it was definitely a retirement.
It's definitely
community.
getting younger.
It's getting younger. Yeah, there's more people moving up here. There's more families too. And so that's the other thing is that people are starting to actually move up here and raise their kids. For us, it made sense because we can still visit our family down near Sacramento, and it's only 2 hours away. So we can make day trips down there. If you had to make a day trip to the Bay Area or something to see family, you can do that. It'd be a long trip, but you could do it. So there's a lot of signs pointing to Incline having this boost in growth. How much is it going to be? I don't know. But based on kind of what happened in COVID and what's been happening in a few years of the general appreciation and properties that are getting more expensive, there's a lot of different avenues that people can buy up here and why they're buying. So it's not just, we want a vacation home by the lake. It's short-term rentals, tax benefits, permanent residency, second home, weather, and then just general access to the amenities here. It's like kind of makes sense for people. And if you like boats.
In short, you're saying long-term appreciation is still going to stay strong. There is a limited supply of housing. You can't build more
Yeah, there's no more building here. So people are tearing down $2 million houses to build a $7 million house because they've had this big influx of income. They're like, what am I going to do with $20 million that my company that used to not make anything now makes 20 million, and they sell it, and now they have this big, tax bill, and there's tax strategists, and the people I work with, I have them talk to CPAs, tax strategists, and then get them into a property that kind of works for what they need, especially if you want a remodel project. A lot of good remodel value adds up here.
Yeah, there are a lot of good remodel projects available. Older homes in general. Yeah. Is there anything you want to add before we wrap it up?
I think the AI boom is going to affect Incline Village more than any other part of Lake Tahoe. And so
that's your hot take on that.
Yeah.
This is purely your...
This is my opinion.
Let's say, purely your opinion. If you were to place a bet as to what Incline Village housing will look like in 3 years, what would you bet?
Let's do 1 year and we'll reassess this.
1 year?
Let's do 1 year. There's 6 to 10 IPOs that's going to happen in the next year, and that's where those 15,000 millionaires are going to be.
I think condo prices are going to stay flat. I think single family will increase 5% in the next year.
I think we'll see condo increase 10%, and I think we'll see single family close to the same, or 15. As inventory of the lower elevation and lower priced single family homes, as those older ones get torn down and bigger ones get built, there's going to be less and less inventory. So now you're talking 2 million to 2.2 million, right?
Oh, you're saying the lower price point gets squeezed because
it's going to get squeezed, which is going to squeeze those condo prices up. So if something, this year there's 2-bedroom, 2-bath condos on the market for $570,000. Those I think are going to probably increase, 10%. Maybe they'll go up to like 650,
670, 625, 650.
Yeah, over the next year. So I think next spring we're going to see some pretty good increases in prices. I think this fall and winter, as people are still kind of hesitant about HOAs, but they're like, that's not too bad.
It's starting to subside.
I will
say this: wildfire insurance for master HOA policies, it's getting cheaper. So I've heard some HOAs are actually decreasing their costs, which is pretty unheard of. So I think people are starting to normalize to the increase in HOA fees, and everything's becoming more normal now. The shock factor is not there.
Right. So I think the appreciation of condos is going to be 10 to 15%, and I think we're just going to see more single family homes increase in price in general, just being priced out. There's the $1.5 million single family home will be more and more rare. Then your starting price is going to be $2 million next year.
Right. 5% on my end. You're saying 10 to 15.
Yeah.
This is as of August 4th, 2026.
So we need to make an appointment.
In stone.
Hey Siri, put on my calendar for August 4th, 2027 for a podcast and see how our predictions actually turned out.
We're gonna have.
We could even check by the end of the year. And most real estate agents send out all the stats that are kind of, sometimes they don't mean a lot. You got to put them in larger context and see, seasonality and things like that. But so I don't send out a lot of monthly stats because it's like looking at a stock price on a daily.
Yeah.
Kind of was like, well, what's really happening? Kind of like, what do you see in the long term, and then what were those micro factors? Because there's not a lot of data poents in Incline Village. We don't have like 10,000 homes on the market to really like balance something out here. So
it's quite a bit of outliers.
Yeah, but. So the AI boom, I think, is going to affect Incline more than any other place around Tahoe, and especially with the other development getting finished up. So if you wanted to, get some investment properties, Incline, move it out of California, you come see me.
Yeah, how can people connect with you?
You can connect to me. You can reach out, send a comment on Instagram. Do you want my phone number?
What's your phone number?
775-298-1114. So you can just give me a call or text. And
awesome.
Then, I like to lead with education. So anytime people are just even curious, are you Incline Curious? Should we put that on inclinecurious.com? Maybe people can reach me there. No. You can also reach me at buxtoninvestmentrealty.com.
buxtoninvestmentrealty.com. That's BUXTON investmentrealty.com.
Correct.
Brad, thanks a ton for joining.
Thanks for your time, Shay. And, if people do want to get some lending, Shay does a really great job.
I appreciate that.
Especially for non-standard W-2 workers.
Yeah. We get really creative. We also can do easy deals too.
Yeah,
of
we
course,
can
with great
yeah.
pricing. So
Yeah, I'd buy your stock.
thank you. I'd buy yours too. So I appreciate that. For those listening still, thanks again. We'll see you on the next one.
All right. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.